I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2017 B-Team Banquet. It was a successful season, and we'll talk about how we measure success in a little while. I want to thank everybody. Just a couple things real quick. We're going to eat first, and then we'll do our awards and have our ceremonies and stuff with the cheerleaders as well as the football players. I want to congratulate you all for having a wonderful season. All the way around, cheerleaders as well as our football players. And we want to thank the parents on behalf of the board. We want to thank the parents very much for all your efforts in entrusting your children to our coaches. We feel that we've got a good program. Everyone talks about the tradition at Manchester. It starts here at Manchester Youth Football. And just to give you a little history of something that I came up with earlier while I was getting ready for last night's banquet as well as today. Manchester Youth Football started approximately 1964 with Manchester being a part of the old Suburban Youth Football League. In about 2008, we joined the Buckeye Youth Football League, and there were some reasons behind that because there were kids who weren't getting an opportunity to play, and we wanted to see more kids play and to get things going and that, and these guys got together to do this. We'd like to remember some of the past directors. I may be missing a couple, and we're going to try to add to these as time goes on. But some of the past directors of Manchester Youth Football included Robbie Robinson, Tim Byers, Jeff Olson, John Switzer, Don Rouser, George Hopkins, Ron Wagner, Mike Baker, and Dan Six. In the first 3 years of the Suburban Youth Football League, the varsity team of Manchester, which consisted of the 7th and 8th graders, went undefeated with 30 wins and no losses. Charlie Miller was the head coach. Many of you may know who Charlie Miller is, and many of you may not. But you kids probably don't know who Mr. Miller is. He just passed away a couple of months ago, and his grandsons did play down here and also served as coaches. And that's Bobby Bowen and the Bowen family were down here. And Mr. Miller was very instrumental in what happened with Manchester Youth Football, as was Mr. Caterly, Rick Caterly Sr., Mike Farmer, and as we remember Charlie Miller, you know, Lockhart Field is now on Caterly Way, going into it if you've noticed it. And this past week, we're going to have a dedication ceremony probably before the season starts next year. But in memory of Mr. Charlie Miller, who was one of the founders and the first head coach of the varsity football team that we had at Manchester Youth Football, we're dedicating the field house, which would be, there's going to be a sign between the equipment room and the meeting room and that, and it's going to be called Charlie Miller Field House. So we're going to dedicate that in memory of him, and we hope you all come down, and we thank you all very much for coming down. That's just a little bit of a brief history on Manchester Youth Football that I know. So, I know the food's ready. Everybody's ready back there to get it started. Please don't stand up and go grab it yet. If you'd all bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the wonderful season that we had and the opportunity that we had coaching these children and working with them. We thank you for the lack of not too many kids getting hurt. We're going to thank you for helping AJ get through his problems that he's had this year, and all the other high school kids, the things that they went through. We ask you that you give blessings upon all these children and bring them back next year and keep them all in good health along with their parents. Amen. I'd like to start off by thanking all those who helped get the food for tonight and get everything prepared, the committee that they did a wonderful job. Let's give the ladies a nice round of applause for the great job that they did. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce the board from this year. There are board positions that are going to be up and available from some of the folks in that. We want to thank them. Many of them have been on for several years, done a wonderful job in that. And once again, another successful season for Manchester Youth Football. Our director is Eddie Speedy, assistant director Mike Prager, and myself as an assistant director. Jason Jividen is the head coach for all the football teams. Eric Browning is our flag football coordinator. Our president, Jenny Souls, she's the one that coordinates all the money-making stuff and the things that we do to keep the football coaches and keep the football directors in order and that stuff. So Jenny, great job this year. Your first year on the job, I believe it is too, yes? Did a fabulous job. Thank you very much. She's going to have rotator cuff surgery for patting herself on the back. You did a great job this year, your first year. We'd like to continue on. Our cheer director, Jennifer Pallich. Nice job with the cheerleaders. Melissa Lee is our head cheer coach. And some of our board members. Cindy Kotzleaf is the secretary. Allison Byers, our treasurer. Melissa McCracken, the registration coordinator. Melissa, you did a great job this year too. This was our first year that we tried to go online and get some of the registrations in online, and there was a lot of it, and we think it worked really, really well. Great job by you, as well as Coach Jividen over there, who had a little hand in what was going on. So first time for that one, great job. Kim Sherman, a wonderful job by Kim as our athlete retention coordinator. Not sure what that means, but she did that, as well as she was the, what did you guys call Thursday night? Fun Thursdays, when during the football season, when the boys got done with practice, she coordinated and organized a lot of the games and fun that was going on, and I know everybody had a ball with that. And she also was very instrumental in getting the awards that we're going to be presenting out here tonight. So Kim, thank you very much for all of your efforts. It's greatly appreciated. Another board member, Nicole Galloway, volunteer coordinator, and did a lot of PR on Facebook for us. Thank her for her efforts, trying to get people to help do the chains and painting and working and doing the things around the football field, so it was greatly appreciated in her efforts. And we also want to thank our head team mom, and that's Jamie Moorhart. Jamie's done this job for a couple of years. She also served with the C team and G team for the last couple of years when her kid was playing down there and that, and she did a great job, and she was a good model for the other teams and that stuff. So Jamie, thank you for your efforts in helping in that direction. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Mike Krager and Cody Krager and Eddie Speedy. They were our paint crew. Most of the time when the field needed painted and that stuff on Fridays or something, you noticed that they were out there painting. I'm not sure if there was a couple other guys. Eddie did it one time, but I'm giving you a little bit of a pat on the back. You know. The day that he did it, the lines were a little crooked and that stuff, but we're not going to say why. Oh, it was Cody. Okay. Would like to also take the opportunity, when I wasn't able to do any of the announcing down at the field, Michael Baker, Andy Summers, and Mason Pallich were down there doing some of that announcing for us. It's not an easy job up there, trying to see from back as far as we did. Also want to take the opportunity to thank all the guys that came up to help run the clock. One of my favorite ones that came up to help run the clock this year was Danny Smith. Danny did a great job. He's not here today and that, but Danny did a really good job helping me. He volunteered and didn't have to be asked twice. And please, when you go home, if you would thank him for me, I greatly appreciate it. How many sixth graders do we have? Boys and girls. Okay? Several of them. Okay? Okay, you guys put your hands down. This is your final banquet as a member of Manchester Youth Football. Next year, you're going to undertake going to the middle school, and you'll be able to play football up on the middle school. There's a progression that goes. We teach them young here and keep moving them on and that stuff, and we look forward to watching you guys with next year's, as your 7th graders next year, and with the 8th graders that you're going to have. You'll learn a lot. You've come a long way. There might be just a few of you in that, but you all got a lot of heart. And we're very proud of the efforts that all of you put forth into playing football while you were here at Manchester Youth Football. For the 5th graders, I want to ask you a question, because I posed this question to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th graders last night. Did you have fun this year? Will you come back next year?
Yes.
Most of us? Well, we know there's one of you. Those of you that did not say yes, Coach Byers just took back your cupcake that you're supposed to have. One of the things that we tried to do, and I think this year with the way that the teams were organized and the way that they coached them up and that, the coaches all did a very, very good job this year at all levels that we had. We're very proud of that effort. And one of the things that they tried to do and they kept forth was we taught our kids to respect the game. And the kids went out there and they respected the game. They played the game hard. They knocked people down. They picked them up, and they respected the game and did the thing that we did, and we expected that out of them. We also did a lot of calisthenics with all of the groups at the beginning of the year, and it brought more of a team effort between all of them. And the one thing that I know that on C Team that we tried to do with C Team Red, and I saw it over here. One question that I always ask my boys when they get done playing, did you play? Did you leave it all out on the field? And I says, and the question that you have to ask yourself when you play the game of football, you play the game of baseball, basketball, whatever it may be, is were you better at the end of the game than you were at the beginning of the game? And if you could say that you were better at the end of the game than you were at the beginning of the game, then you gave it your 100% effort and you did a really good job. And that holds true with anything that you're going to do in life. So continue to go in that direction and everything will be fine. Before we get into the other awards, Panther Paws, which is the booster club for the high school football team. We all know they had a great season this year and did a lot of good things. They're having a postseason raffle. It's this is for the parents' kids. Unless you got 20 bucks, I need to talk to you too. But they're having the pool for the Ohio State Michigan game, and they're 20 bucks a square, $250 for each quarter, and the final score on it. If anybody would like to purchase a square, it's greatly appreciated. It will help out our Manchester High School Panther Paws team for their year-end banquet, and you can see me on that. At this time, we're going to ask Jen Palich to come up. We're going to do the awards for Jenny Souls is going to do it. Okay.
So first I want to thank all the parents for this being my first season as the president. I've been on the board for a couple of years, but I do appreciate all the help I've had with everybody being, again, like the bumps in the road, working everything out. I've got a great board who helped me with everything. And I just want to let you guys all know we appreciate all the help you guys did in terms of volunteering for everything, because we get it that life gets busy. And you just don't want to help sometimes. You want to show up and watch your child, but we all have to step up and do stuff. So thank you for everybody who stepped forward and worked the concession stand, painted, did with the chains. Even the banquet tonight. So we really appreciate all your help. Okay, with that being said, so I'm going to do the academic award. So I think we're just going to have everybody, I'll call your name and you're just going to stand up in your seat to be recognized. Oh, okay, Jen, come on up. All right, so academic awards are not easy to get. We obviously rah-rah, cheer in football. We love it out here in Manchester, but getting grades is important as well. And we know it's really hard to go to practice 3, 4, 5 nights a week, have games all day. So this is to recognize all the academic awards for you guys, okay? So come on up when I call your name. 3.0 or better. Sydney Bagwell. Ramsey Anderson. Colette Dividend. Zoe Osborne. Skylar Wetzel. Okay, now on to football. Any second photo? Please take a photo now. call your name. Evan Kuzmitz. Jaden McKinney. Trevor Kuzmitz. Hayden Bales. Mason Morris. Brady Johnson. Ian Galloway. Lucas French. Aiden Browning. Mason Limer. Nicholas Stager. Isaiah Martin. Jace Mauger. Jace Speedy. Zeke Sunbury. Dustin Wesley. Cody Hustler. All right, let's give these guys nice and ladies nice round of applause.
Okay, next we're going to have our cheerleader awards, and we'd like to ask the cheer coach for the B team, Michelle Haderly Anderson, if you would come up front, please. Greatly appreciated.
I'm going to throw Kim under the bus here and have her explain. We decided to do something a little new this year. So since this was her passion, she can explain to you guys.
Okay, so this year we did decide to do the awards a little bit differently for the kids. When we were thinking about what kind of awards we'd like to get the kids, we were thinking of something maybe they'd hang on to for a little bit longer. So this year we decided to switch to medals for the kids, and then they also got on their t-shirts a pin that has the MYF logo and the year on it. And sort of the vision for the medals will be that the kids will get a new pin each year and add it to their medal. And so at the end of their years in MYF, they'll have a medal with all their year pins and their academic pins on it, just showing all their years together in MYF. And that's something hopefully maybe you would keep forever, either in their scrapbook or kind of hanging around the house, or something that might be a little bit easier to keep behind. For our 6th grade boys, you just get that one fantastic 2017 pin. Maybe then you will want to put it on your letter jacket or show some other way that you can just remember your years here at MYF. So that's kind of the idea behind it. I hope you all enjoy it. And the kids who are hanging around for another year, make sure you take good care of your medal and wear it to the banquet next year so you can add your pin to it next year. Thanks.
Real quick, I just want to toss out some thanks myself. I want to again thank the parents for entrusting your kids to all of us to learn and grow with our program. I wanted to also myself thank all those again who volunteered. This program would not be what it is without all of you stepping up. So those that jumped in, thank you. If you didn't get a chance to jump in this year, we hope that you will next year. We hope to see everybody back. All you 6th grade kids, I wish all of you well moving off into the middle school arena. It's been a pleasure to watch you grow through the program over the years. That said, again, our B team coach Michelle Caterly Anderson. Took a little string pulling and arm twisting to bring her back this year, but I couldn't be more thrilled to have her back. She grew up in this program. I love that she comes back to share her passion. I know things got a little confusing for her with her daughter cheering on a different team. And I need to take a second and thank my daughter, Olivia Palich, for pinch hitting when Michelle couldn't be there. So. That said, we're going to bring up our B-team cheerleaders. When I call your name, girls, if you go ahead and come on up. Sydney Bagwell. Ramsey Dennison. Colette Jividin. Taryn Mosesian. Zoe Osborne. Skylar Wetzel. And Natalie Wright. I also want to take a minute to say thank you very much to Kelly Mosesian. She was our team mom this year. Our team moms are very crucial, at least on the cheer side, not that they aren't on the football side, to keep things flowing very smoothly, the liaison between the coaches, myself, and the parents. So thank you very much, Kelly. I appreciate all your efforts. I think Michelle would like to say something as well.
There we go. Allegedly, I'm short. I just want to say thank you so much to the parents who got the girls to practice in the games every single day. Every single Saturday they were there, whether they liked it or not. They cheered most of the games, double games. And I want to thank you, not only to your parents, but to my girls as well, for the dedication. Truly appreciate it. We can't do our part without the parents, so that is huge, and I truly appreciate the help. One thing I want to say about the girls as well is that we had absolutely zero drama. This was an amazing group of girls to work with. They all got along well, they all cheered well together and worked well together as a team, and that is something to be said for the way that they were brought up. So again, thanks to the parents, and thank you so much to the girls for a fantastic season. It's been a while since I've been back, and I took a little hiatus, and thank you for allowing me to come back and learn how to do this all over again. So I truly appreciate the opportunity to work with you lovely ladies. It was wonderful, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. Thank you. Until next time.
And I believe one thing that maybe everybody doesn't know also with the cheerleaders, the 6th graders went up to the middle school this year, the last home game that the middle school had for the 8th graders, and our 6th grade cheerleaders did a wonderful job cheerleading up there that day with them also. That's a great job. You guys did a good job this year. Good job. Okay. Next up, we're going to ask Ed Speedy, who is the head coach of our B team, to come up, and they have some awards that they'd like to present this time.
Hello, everybody. Hi, boys. I'm going to start by bringing up my coaches, my assistant coaches. I've had many coaching staffs throughout the years here, I think 14 different ones. This year was really special for me because I got to coach with some of the guys I never got to coach with before. And I really learned a lot from Coach Dividend growing up. He was our offensive coordinator, and the boys can tell you, he can make your head spin, can't he? Huh? X's and Y's and 7s, 8s, and 9s and all that good stuff, right? But I thought you guys did a good job adapting to that. Coach Krager ran our defense. Again, another awesome to work with him. He taught these boys all kinds of different defensive schemes and twists and just different things, as well as worked with the offensive line with teaching the tandem block and how to hold. No, we didn't teach that, did we? How not to hold, right? Coach Byers? Coach Byers is always there to fire us up, get us pumped up, get us ready to go, right? No excuses, right? You can't mess around. You brought the towel, right? The ever most important towel. Cody Krager. Cody, he stepped up and took charge of our JV and a lot of our line drills. He actually got down in the mix with the boys and really got down and showed them how to do the techniques that he learned through the years of football. Cody did a great job too. Austin? Austin, also a former NYF football player, and I believe both these guys won the Cayley Award, if I'm not mistaken, right? Austin did a great job with the JV as well, and helping with the varsity kids. So, thank you guys. I'd like to start by thanking everybody that Nikki already thanked. The board members, everybody who helped prepare this banquet, and food, and Jenny Souls for driving me crazy all year. Over 4 million text messages. Nikki. Thanks. I'd like to thank Cody and Mike for going down to paint the field. If you guys don't know, that they were down there Friday nights and Sunday nights painting the field. I never painted one time this year, but even though I got recognized for doing so, I didn't do it. I'd like to thank Mickey also for announcing. You know, every year I get stressed out about who we're going to get to announce. He did a good job, and when he wasn't there, Mike Baker stepped up. Andy came down a couple times, did a good job, and Mason stepped in and did it once for us, I think. Rotten down. Mason was rotten down. Mike Baker, is he here? You'll see the longevity awards or the legacy awards. This is the third year in a row Mike has made these all on his own time, and I believe on his own dime. I don't know if we've ever paid him any for these, but these are really cool awards you guys will get to see later. I want to thank the cheerleaders. They were there cheering us on every game, doing a good job. Really appreciate them. Team moms. I've always been lucky enough to have the best team moms. Jamie Hunt, been there forever for me. I don't even have to ask. She asks me and then she answers what I'm going to respond before I even get a chance to respond. That's how much she knows it. And Angel stepped up and helped her out when AJ had to be in the hospital there for a while, and she did a good job too, I think. Thank you for that. Thank my wife, Julie, for allowing me the time to be down at the field 5 nights a week, meetings, even though I miss a lot of meetings. Trying to avoid Jenny Souls. But thank you for that. And then, most importantly, I want to thank the parents, because I've been so lucky to have this group of kids for as long as I have, in whether it be basketball, football, or baseball, and that you guys have all just done a tremendous job with these kids. Jen talked about no drama, or Michelle talked about no drama. We didn't have no drama. We haven't had drama. You guys all have each other's back. This has been a great team for a long time. Okay, and that's due to what starts at home. I'm going to turn the mic over for Danny for a minute.
All right, listen up. Can you hear me? I said, can you hear me? That's better. No, I was want to say a few quick things, as well as thank you to everybody. I just wanted to say something about this team. I've only been doing this for a few years. These guys have been doing it for umpteen years. And I've been on some teams where we were blowing teams out by 30. I've been on a few teams and we got beat by 30. But I want to tell you what, this team here was a team. This was the true meaning of the word team. You guys, like I said all year long, we weren't the tallest and we weren't the biggest, but we had the most heart. And I truly believe that. I truly do. So I want to thank you guys for having all that heart. One last thing is, like I said, I've only been doing this for a couple of years and didn't realize that until the very last game and the very last play was over, that there's some kids here that I saw from this, you know, some of these guys have been coaching kids that are graduating from high school. They're going on to college now. But this, I didn't realize this until the game was over and some of the 6th graders come up to me and shook my hand and gave me a hug and said, thank you. And I'm like, well, you know, thank you. And then I realized, oh my gosh, they're going on. And that choked me up a little bit. I didn't quite grasp it till that moment, that these guys were just little kids in flag and now they're moving on. So you guys, I was very honored to have coached you guys and do what I could do. And just like I said, this was a true team, and I want to thank you guys. Thank you.
All right, I'm trying to get through this. For me, this team started 5 years ago. There was 6 second graders who came out to play football. I want you to stand up when I say your name. Brady Johnson, Cody Osler, Mason Morris, Dustin Wesley, Jay McKinney. There's one not here because he moved. Mickey talked a lot about how you measure success. When me and Andy Summers started coaching together with my older boys, we always said our job is first and foremost to make kids love football. And one way you measure that, and you know that you make kids love football, is if they make it all the way through and they come back and play every year. This season, if you see, there's only 5 kids that were in 2nd grade. There was 1 more. That's not enough for a football team. We had to find them some more teammates. There was no more 2nd graders, so we had to call on the 1st graders. The first graders who are still here with us. If you want to stand up when I call your name: Hunter Anderson, Drew Byers, AJ Hunt, Yaden Sharp, Mason Morris, Jay Speedy. There was 14 of us then, and we knew we had something special then, because the second graders, who are now sixth graders, we told them to be leaders and to lead this group. And for me to bring them all back together, and get to coach them one last time together, it means everything to me. Last year, the B team scored one touchdown. Okay. Very first game, scored one touchdown. All those kids came back and played. Well, most of them did. But this year we went 4-4. Went 0-1 in the playoffs. Gave Norton all we had, didn't we? You guys worked so hard at being focused and listening to every single thing that we told you, that I was never so proud of how we prepared for that playoff game. All year we kind of, we had a good time, we goofed around, lost our focus now and again, right? But when it came time for the playoffs, and we broke that film down, Coach Dividend broke down their offense, you guys were dead focused, and we did a great job. My sixth graders, I hope all of you continue to play football. And even you, Jaden. We would love to come see you guys at the middle school and watch you play. So thank you for letting me be your coach. And I look forward to all the fifth graders being back next year, because we're going to do good things. You guys can sit. All right, I'll just start. This is one of my original D-teamers, first grader. Came out and played football. First year, man, he did not like contact at all. Next year, he'd grab a few people here and there. Year after that, got a little better. And then this year, he started bragging about his tackles. And he would stick his nose in there at nose guard, and we would look for him underneath the pile and hope that he'd come crawling out of there okay. And I'm telling you what, from as soft as he used to be, he's tough as nails now. Look forward to having him back next year. That's Hunter Anderson.
Yeah. All right. I was never more excited when I found out this kid was going to come out and play, and I was never so devastated when I heard that he got injured playing baseball. This kid's a true athlete, and when he showed up, I was very happy. And then I got that text message. Our first game, I was on the sidelines. We were coaching our first game, and I got a text message from his mom. Yaden broke his hand. I'm like, what? But we got that cast off. He come and played some games for us, and he immediately had an impact. Yaden Sharp, come on up here.
Okay, this is another one we weren't sure we were going to get this year. Showed up a little bit late. I know, obviously, I mean, we know the kids. I've known him for a while now, and he's a fantastic kid, but I was impressed day in, day out of the effort that he put out in practice and the improvement that he gained all year long. From coming into practice a little bit late, to getting into pads, to getting into the scrimmages, to getting into the games. I was incredibly impressed with the effort that he put out. Aiden Browning.
Yes, yeah. And our best dress. And our best dress, easily.
This next kid, I didn't really know him going into this season. First year I got to coach him, and well, really I knew nothing about him. And practice, he was always wanting to be there, always one of the first ones in line. And varsity, JV games, didn't matter. We turn around, he was always there and was always asking to play. Nick Stagger.
Alright guys, I'm no good at this stuff, so. This is the first year I had this kid. Good size on him. I didn't know really too much what he could do, and he missed the first scrimmage, right? He missed the scrimmage, and I had plans for him to get out there and get going early, and then I had some other kids step up and did a good job, and then he came back later on in the season and did a great job for us. Zach Smith.
Hello everyone. I just need to say one thing that I really need to get off my chest, and I'd like to say thank you and apologize. I wasn't there a whole lot. I had school, I had work, and I really want to apologize, especially and thank you to the coaches who really stepped up and helped me out and understood what I was going through. But I'd also like to thank the parents for that, especially the kids who definitely understand. I almost actually wasn't going to coach this year, but I decided I couldn't, there's no way I couldn't do it. The first year was a little rough, but I had to give another chance, and I thank God every day that I did. You guys helped me to strive through work and school and everything. I hope I do the same thing. So to start off with my first kid, I remember one game specifically where he probably grew the most in one game as much as he did the whole entire year. That was against Talmadge, which is not an easy game to go against. It was in the JV game. He plays outside linebacker, and it's not an easy job to do. If anyone's ever played that, they'd understand. And you know what, after that game, he really grew and developed, and he's going to be a good player as he grows older, and that's Caden Bayless.
Good job, man.
Which one do I want to do? All right, I'll do this one. This guy, every time I turned around, he was right beside me. Every practice, before, after, during, whenever he wasn't in the play, he was standing right next to me. And he'd always look at me and say, "Hi, Coach." "Hi, Coach." I probably said hi to him at least 4,000 times this year, but I loved every time. This kid is a tremendous athlete, and he's one of the two that you just say when all else fails, just pitch it to a Cousins. Evan Cousins.
All right. Best thing I could say about this guy, and sum it up in one word, and that's leader. He was our rock in the center, and even though we had some rotating people in and out of that line, he was always there to coach him up and tell him what's going on. We had AJ at guard, and then unfortunately when he went down, we had Drew come in at guard, and he was always there to lead. And he's definitely a leader. Isaiah Martin, come on up.
Okay. I think I can say comfortably that with this young man, no one else on this team brought me more joy and utter frustration. He is an absolute joy to be around. He is an absolutely fantastic athlete. He will give 100% of the time. And sometimes we just have to make sure that we're all talking about the same thing, that we're all playing the same game. But I'm telling you what, he does a fantastic job, and I absolutely enjoyed every minute of coaching. Bodie Biko.
This next kid, he was another one. It was my first year that I coached him, but I knew a little more about him, and well, he's the fastest kid I've probably ever coached in my whole career. And well, I remember JV games for at least the first half of the year. We'd give him the ball the first play of the game, and he was gone, no matter where he was at on the field. And varsity level, we had them all over the place. We had them backside tight end, our slot back, tailback, anywhere. Yeah, safety, corner, Trevor Cousins.
Another first-year kid for me. This kid, first day we lined up a defense, I put him in a spot, and his head just went boom. So then a couple of weeks later, we had an injury on the team. A couple of kids got banged up, and I got to move him to where he wanted to be. And he did a great job there. He finished out the season there. He did great. He was the number 2 in that 1-2 punch on the JV squad as running the ball. Jay Smallger.
Good job, buddy.
This is a first-year kid for me, and I definitely hope to see him next year. He is one of the most passionate kids I've seen play football, and he's actually, when he puts his mind to it, he's one of the best players out there. And I think once he figures that out, he's going to be something good. He played cornerback for us, and I know he actually played end, and he played defensive guard too. He's kind of all over the place with us. And like I said, once he puts his mind to it, he's going to be a good player. I can't wait to see that. It's Ian Galloway.
Good job, buddy. All right.
Well, this guy, he's not one of the biggest kids that we've had, but if you know him, if you watch him play, he is definitely one of the strongest kids, toughest kids. Been my center for a while. moved to guard this year, stepped up and played guard. Ended up having to cut his season a little short. We're really hoping and praying that he'll be able to come back next year and join us again on the football field. Because we really missed him this year. AJ Hunt.
Well, first day of practice, kid was here. It's like, "Hi, coach, how you doing?" I'm like, "All right." He goes, what am I supposed to do?" I said, "I tell you what, you see that guy over there? Why don't you just tackle him?" "Am I allowed?" "Yeah, you can hit him." "Okay." Well, this guy had never played football before, and he could bench press that table right there if you ask him to. He's so strong. And we had him in different places. I remember the Battle of '93. It was so hot that day, and he gave us 150%. And we put him at the defensive end, and he was just a beast that day. Lucas French, come here.
All right, this is one of the guys that arguably I spent more time with than anybody else. Coaching the offense, a lot of times, especially at young ages, you coach the offense means you coach the quarterbacks. You coach the quarterbacks means it takes a lot of time. You spend a lot of time with these kids. Now, I can't say this young man, I hadn't coached before, but he may have played more snaps, varsity and JV, throughout the season than anybody else. Our quarterback room's pretty small. There's only 2 guys in it. So when it comes to putting in a game plan and expecting this, you expect things of these guys, of quarterbacks that you don't expect of other players, and that is, I expect, whether it's fair or not, I expect to be able to say, you know what, I need you to go play tight end, because you know what the tight end does. I need you to go play slot back, because you know what the slot back does. I need you to go play split end. Oh, by the way, you're the backup quarterback right now. Now you're also the starting split end. Now you're going to start a defensive end. Oh, you're also going to play corner now, because we got another guy that's going to play defensive end. So the appreciation as a coach that you have for a guy that can pull that off, especially a kid who comes up as a 5th grader, playing a year up against varsity talent that's in some cases 2 years older than he is, you can't say enough about him. Jay Speedy.
This next kid is another first-year player, and, well, varsity-wise, we had him learn just about every spot on the varsity line there was, and you never really heard him. You never heard him complain, never even really heard him talk at practice or at a game. And JV, he ended up being our tight end, and he did a fine job at it. Zeke Sunbury.
Good job, boy.
I thought I was done. Man, guys keep handing me medals. Anyway, this kid, 2nd year coaching him, he had a little rough start to the season, and he came back and decided he wanted to play, and he was one of our best defensive linemen, Dustin Wesley.
Good job, buddy.
This kid was not only first year for me, I believe it was his first year ever playing. And That's definitely not an easy job to do by any means. He probably, I don't know how many, he definitely had a bunch of nicknames, I believe. We put him in at nose guard, and we told him just to push the guy in front of him, clog up that hole, and he did that job every single time we asked him to do that. And I think as he grows as a player, he's definitely going to become really good. I think he has potential to do that. He has the size for it, and he has the heart to do it as well. That's Dominic LaSalle. Also goes by Dominic.
Last one for me. I got to tell this one though first because we were over in Elliott playing. Well, it wasn't really rain, but there was a little bit of rain that day. And I was out on the field. I think it was the only time I was out on the field for the JV. That was at the beginning of the season. And I was watching this particular kid play, and he plays linebacker, even though he's maybe 65 pounds. And I was watching him on this play, and he probably should have went right instead of left to shed this block, and he got peeled. I mean, he landed on the back of his head, but he bounced back up. He didn't play that game, the rest of that game. But later in the season, when we lost AJ, we were looking for a guard, and this kid, he's like, I'll do it. I don't know many 65-pound kids that want to jump in and play guard against giant sixth graders, but this kid, I'll put him up against anybody because he's tough as nails. That's Drew Byers.
All right, I saved this one here because there's not many people or players in this game that I can talk about like this. It's this player wherever you put them, she'd do the best, and I already blew it right there. But she was all over the place. I remember we put her in a quarterback. And she goes, but I don't know the play. That's all right. Just take the ball and hand it off, or take the ball and run it. But as far as what I told you earlier about how much heart this team has, this is the heartbeat right here. Jaden McKinney, come on up.
Okay, well, I was mistaken. This is the player I spent the most time with, clearly. Again, like I said before, the quarterback room's pretty small when you only have two of them, so you end up spending a lot of time together. And as a coach, a lot of times you have, the goal you have is to stretch a kid and to help him get through things that are difficult for him. And sometimes a player will make you stretch as a coach. I'm always big on X's and O's. It's been argued that I take all the fun out of football and turn football into a science project. I get all that, and it's true. But this year, I had a young man at quarterback that played outstanding football for us. I got to be his coach. I got to be a teacher. I got to be a psychologist sometimes. I got to be whatever it took. And I appreciate him stretching me as a coach, and I hope I did the same for him as an athlete. Brady Johnson.
This next kid, I had him last year, and well, this kid, he's just one of those kids that you enjoy coaching. And whether you're a coach, a teammate, a parent, a fan, whatever, he's just a blast to watch play. And I remember one game, in particular, we were at Coventry, and this kid, for some reason, in the end zone, tried to step up and tackle him, and he planted him. He did a backflip and everything, and I don't know if many of you know this, but he suffered a pretty serious injury last year. We didn't think he was even going to be back last year to play. He came back, and this kid was real enjoyable. Mason Morris.
This kid, second year kid, for me anyways. So he already knows who he is because there's only one more second. He got banged up pretty good last year, and he ended up coming back. I wasn't sure if he would, but he did. He's a tough kid. He put on some weight. Started out the season as my safety, and ended up being the nose guard and defensive tackle. Probably one of the better ones we had on the field. It was hard to take him off the field. Yeah. Oh, he upgraded his name this year to Pork Chop. Last year we called him Cupcake. So this year he got Pork Chop. Cody Hostler.
All right, as we all know, we know who's last. I was hard on him this year, and I was hard on him because I know he can be good. And as a coach, and as most coaches know, you're hard on kids that you know they can be good and that they have potential and they can keep playing. I told him, for many of you that don't know, he wears a jersey as one of my best friends, Jake Hansel. He was a really good football player, fantastic football player, good wrestler. And I told him that he actually has potential to be him one day. And I hope he keeps wearing that jersey because I can see it. And you know what? I hope you live up to that potential and I can see it. And I'm going to keep pushing next year if I'm here. So that's Mason Weimer.
Okay. Oh yeah, guys, come on up so we can get a picture of your.
Justin Adam, Jake. Justin Adam. Look straight ahead. Justin Adam. I'm gonna be.
All right. Every year we give out awards for longevity, our legacy awards. Like Coach said earlier, it's those legacy awards are given to those players who start with us at the D team level and play every year all the way up and finish as 6th graders. This year we have just 3, Mike Baker was nice enough to make us these incredible awards that look fantastic. But we want to make sure that we recognize our 3 Legacy Award winners this year. Mason Morris, Cody Hostler, and Jaden McKinney.
Stand right there and hold them up.
At this point, we do give out some special awards each year, or at the B team level. I'm going to bring up Jen Palace to give out our cheer award.
In case anybody's wondering, we did not have longevity for cheer this year. Not all of them. There hasn't been any of them that have been here all the way through 2nd grade. Some of them were really close, but not all the way through. So we have a special award to give tonight. I'm going to read you the criteria for it. This is an award that's chosen by their teammates. The kids all vote on this. And the stipulations they're given is it does have to go to a 6th grade cheerleader. It exemplifies great cheerleader qualities, meaning she smiles, she's helpful and encouraging to teammates, exhibits team and community pride and spirit, has strong tight motions, good jumps, has good attendance, isn't bossy or hurtful to others, possesses a good cheer voice, always upbeat, is a leader, and has fun and works hard always. Like I said, the girls voted on this, and this year's Spirit Award winner is Skylar Wetzel. I think I need that.
Angel, come on up here. Jamie, where are you at? Come up here, please.
This is for the team moms for the B team.
Who's recognizing our team moms? All right. Every year we get the honor of, as coaches, to hand out some special awards for particular achievements throughout the year. Now, sometimes those awards change name and shape, and they change criteria, but what it comes down to is it's our chance to recognize the achievements of some of these young men and women that are outside the norm. It's something that's worth making an occasion of. It's worth making a special note of. So this year we wanted to give out a Most Improved Player award. A Most Improved Player was based on where you started and where you finished. It's not that complicated. And when it comes down to starting a season, starting a sport at square one, and by the middle of that season, being not only competitive, not only competent, but excelling. And if you ask some guys at Coventry and Norton, downright dangerous. I want to be sure to recognize, and I just couldn't be happier to give this award for Most Improved Player to Lucas French. Now, there are special achievements, and then there are special achievements. All right? So, it occurred to me, and the rest of the coaches, that every other sport, if you watch, this season, you go out, you watch basketball, they're going to give out an award they're going to give out a state title in boys basketball, they're going to give a state title in girls basketball. But we don't have that in football. But what we do have at Manchester Youth Football is one of the finest football players we've seen come through this program who just happens to be a girl. So in order to recognize that, we wanted to give her a trophy for her outstanding achievement. But more importantly, we wanted to give to our community and to our program a future award, which is for our most valuable female player. We will be giving, from this point forward, the Jaden McKinney Award for Manchester Youth Football. So I don't know how long it's going to hang up there with just one name on it, but I'm hoping it's not too long. So, girls, come on out for football. This year, we also decided to give out for, again, for achievements that are outside of what we normally see, okay? And this is our Leadership Award. Now, being a leader among this group is a special task. This group's a little goofy. I don't know if you noticed. You can't get on them. You can't yell at them because that doesn't work. You have to have just enough, you have to be just loose enough to get to them, get through to them, and have your business taken care of to the point where they look to you for help, advice, and all of those things. Now, our 6th graders came through a lot of adversity a year ago as 5th graders. And when we got together pre-season, I said to Coach Speedy, I said, well, I know we've got one captain. And he said, well, who is it? And I explained about what we went through a year ago, and the attitude that he brought, and the talent that he brought, and he did not disappoint me this year. Isaiah Martin, our leadership.
All right. Now we're up for the Director's Award. This is my 3rd year as director. The Director's Award, it isn't a trophy that we give out, an award we give out just for one season or for one single thing. The Director's Award, when we discuss it as a coaching staff and me and Coach Krager, assistant director, we're looking for a kid, a player that is stand up outside of football, during football, good teammate, good friend, has his entire team's back on his shoulder. So, you know, we watch these kids as they grow from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, 6th grade, and we really keep an eye on who are one of these kids that deserves to win the Director's Award, and we know is going to go on and become somebody very special and lead his class for a long time. 2017 Director's Award goes to Mason Morris. So we have one more award tonight, and we have invited a special guest to come up here and give us a little bit of a history of this award and give these kids a little insight on what it is to win this award, and so they can look forward to winning it next year and telling the younger kids about it. I'd like to bring up Rick Caterly.
First off, congratulations to you guys. You had an outstanding season, and you really represented Manchester very well. So congratulations to you guys. I'd also like to thank Eddie and thank everybody from Manchester Youth Football for having me here. It's truly an honor. First time I've been able to be here to do this, and I can't tell you on behalf of myself and my family how much it means to me. Thank you very much. This award, when you take a look at it, in my opinion and the opinion of many others, I think is probably the most prestigious award that's handed out through all of Manchester football. Top to bottom, high school down, this is the award that really turns heads. Nobody remembers who the offensive MVP was their sophomore year. People remember who got the Rick Caterly Award. People remember who got the Sweet Olson Award, which is what it was for some of us old guys, before that. And if you don't know who Sweet Olson was, he was the original patriarch to the Manchester family, the Manchester football family. He's the guy that talked to Charlie Miller and said, hey, why don't you start a youth league? And that's how this whole thing got started. And a lot of the prestige comes from those guys that were handing out that award because they played for Swede. They were coaching kids that were going to go up and play for Swede. They held him in the same reverence that guys like me and other guys like me who played for Coach France hold him. So in 2011, when my father ended up passing away and I got a phone call saying that this award was going to be renamed the Rick Caterly Award, all the things that happened after that, I think this is the one that was probably the most emotional for me, because even though I wasn't good enough to get this award, it carried that much weight with me. And I got to tell you, I wasn't able to be here that first one because my wife and I were in Disney World. But we stopped everything we did as soon as we heard the banquet was over with, and I placed a phone call to Cody, who spoke about 2 words. But wanted to make sure that I congratulated him. So, when you take a look, how long is this award been given out? I'm trying to take a look. Is it 63? So you're talking over 50 years that this award's been given out. And when you take a look at the names that are on that award, it's a who's who of Manchester football. More than that, it's kind of a who's who of Manchester, because so many of the names that are on that trophy ended up going into the community and did great things within the community. This award isn't something that's just won on the field. It's won in the huddle. It's won on the sidelines. It's won at practice. It's one at school, because you have to have good character. One in the community. And then once you've gathered all of those qualifications just to be invited into that group, you have to be the best of the best within that group. So it's my great pleasure to introduce one of the nice things about this award, which is somebody who's going to hand this out, who has his name on that trophy. Anthony Hughes, the 2016 Caterly Award.
This Caterly Award is going to someone who is a great team. This Caterly Award is going to someone who is a great teammate. He works hard on and off the field. This player has the heart of a Panther and is Manchester through and through. He might be small, but he plays hard on the football field. This year, new 17 Caterly Award goes to Cody Hostler.
Gotta work on it for next year then.
Speech.
Hold it up, Mike. Hold it up. You might want to get a picture or something. Hold it up.
Let's give these coaches a nice round of applause again for the wonderful job that they did. I have a question to ask of the B team boys. How many of you had this year on your helmet one of those red stripes? We had one kid who had a red stripe this year. Two of them. And it just goes to show the heart of a Panther and the heart that they had, that many of these boys would have been playing running back or playing a different position than they did on their team that they did. And as they get into high school, those positions will change down the road too, Annette. They've got a lot of heart, they did a lot of good, and that's because of the coaching staff that they had and the wonderful job that these gentlemen did in that. So I tip my hat to all of you. When they needed to be picked on, they were picked on, and you guys did a great job. One more time, a nice round of applause for these guys. Okay, I was asked to make 2 more announcements and then we're going to be done. First one, if you would like to take balloons, hold on. You may take the balloons, however you leave the weights. Okay? Mrs. Souls said so. So, leave the weights. You can take the balloons. You can wait till we're done. We're almost done. Once again, I want to remind you of the Panther Paws raffle that they're having for the Michigan-Ohio State game. If you'd like to buy a ticket and help them out, it'd be greatly appreciated. They're $20 a piece. And last but not least, to close this out, as we did last night. I've been a part of this organization for 9 years now. Very proud of it. I've met a lot of great people. I want to thank the Caterleys and the Caterley Foundation for the wonderful sponsorships that they do and the inspiration that your dad gave this organization for a number of years. And love that you guys both, Jamie's our director of cheer up at the middle school, and of course Rick's coaching over at Chippewa right now, but he'll be back one day. And that's good. He looks better in red and black, Rick. Trust me, you really do. But I want to thank the Caterley Foundation. I want to thank all the sponsors, Portis Electric and SIT Strings. But to close this out, and I think I speak this for all the coaches, whether it be cheerleading coaches or it be football coaches. I can make this thing work. It's a smartphone, and I'm not very smart, so. And it goes like this. 100 years from now, it will not matter what type of car I drove, what type of clothes I wore, what kind of house I lived in, or how much money I had in my bank account. All that will matter is that I made a difference in the life of a child. To all you coaches, I made a hell of a lot of differences. Congratulations, good luck. Good night, see you all next year. Please help clean up, it's greatly appreciated.